Hello, welcome back once again. In today's video, I'll be dealing with the 6 steps that is required for developing effective prediction skills. So let me take you to the first concept, that is a concept of prediction. So prediction implies the ability to forecast or to foretell, and this is the dictionary definition. But in reading comprehension, prediction implies the ability to guess from the title that is given to us of the comprehension passage. So when we are guessing, we are not only helping ourselves in order to find out how much information we could have about the topic, what are the different ways or the different perspectives that we could look at the topic from, and also we need to find out, what is the writer's perspective. So if it is a same perspective as what we already have, then it becomes easier for us to understand the passage. At the same time, it helps us to develop our reading skill. So having understood this, I would say that prediction is a very important skill as it helps us to develop the techniques of anticipation and skimming. So let us now move on to the 6 steps that one is required to follow while involving themselves in the act of prediction. So the first step is the careful reading of the title of the passage. Second is identifying the keyword from the title given. The third is tapping background information. The fourth is relating background information to the title. The fifth is noting different possibilities, and the sixth is evaluating the different perspectives. So let us understand these 6 steps in greater detail. So the first step is related to careful reading. So here I would say that with careful reading, we are actually building a strategy, and this strategy will help us to anticipate and understand the topic better, anticipate the content of the passage, as well as understand the topic in a much better way. And also, it will help us to analyze the aim and scope of the passage. So having said this, I would like now to move on to the second step, that is identifying the keyword from the title. So once we have got the title, we need to identify the keyword. So identifying keyword will help us to generate ideas. And for example, let us take this example of the changing role of airports. Suppose this is the title of a passage. From this title, we have to identify the keyword. Now, while identifying the keyword, we have to make a note of this fact that any keyword actually belongs to the category of a noun. So, for example, here the keyword airport belongs to the category of a noun. So, I would say that airport is a keyword. Now, once I've identified this keyword, I can visualize what I have, the concept of airport in my mind. So, suppose the concept of airport in my mind looks like something like this. Now, let us find out what to do in the third step. So, in the third step, I would say that we need to tap a background information. So, tapping a background information about the topic will help us to have a better understanding of the topic itself. So here, once the keyword is identified, I need to ask questions about the keyword. So first question I could ask is, what do I know about airports? Second is, do I know the size of the airport? Do I know the location of the airport? That is, how far it is situated from the city, or what are the amenities provided at the airport, and the overall atmosphere of the airport. Second, I need to question myself what kind of facilities are available for the passengers, and how does the aviation industry attract passengers. So these questions, if they are answered, I would have a better understanding about the topic. So now let us find out what should be done on step 4. In step 4, we need to relate the background information to the topic. So when we are relating the background information, we have to consider rereading the topic again, because we need to go back to the topic and try to have a better perspective about the topic, or try to understand the topic in a much better way. So we select appropriate information accordingly and delete the information that is not necessary to us. Now let us move on to the fifth step, and that is noting the different possibilities. Once we have narrowed down the topic by deleting the unnecessary information in the fourth step, we now need to analyze the different possibilities that we have. So when we are analyzing the different possibilities, or we are thinking from the perspective of the positive impact that airport could have on the passengers in terms of the amenities provided to the passengers, the negative impact in terms of the amenities provided, and that is whether the airport, the amenities that is provided is meant only for a particular class of people, or it is meant for all, and accordingly there could be a negative impact and the behavior of the people towards these amenities, whether these amenities are easily purchasable or easily usable, or it is very expensive for the people to use it, and so therefore people just have a look at it and they ignore buying this particular product or using this particular product. So this could be the different possibilities, and these possibilities will actually help us to narrow down the topic further. Now we need to evaluate the possibilities again by going back to the topic once again. So we question the different perspectives by again reflecting on the topic. So again, we need to have a better understanding of the topic and reflect on our understanding of the topic, and then look at the topic from the practical perspective, because the topic says, the title of the passage says the changing role of airports. So when you're talking about the changing role, that means, that in terms of upgrading the amenities, provided to the passengers, that could be a changing role of airports. And so therefore we are looking at it from a practical perspective. So once we are looking at the practical perspective, we are narrowing down information to a specific area, and this will help us to arrive at a particular conclusion. At the same time, it will also help us to identify whether the information that we have about the topic, whether it is relevant to what the writer is trying to convey. So with this, I would like to go on to the final tips that I would like to give you about prediction skills. So I would say the expected outcome of prediction will finally depend on the complexity of the topic and of course the student's ability to use their cognitive skills related to the topic. Then these will finally depend on how much prior information that the students have about the topic, about the keyword, and of course it will also depend upon the concentration level of the students and also the ability of the students to relate their prior information to the topic. So having said this, I would like to thank all of you for your patient listening.